Trap it out.
Welcome to Otaku Shot, where it's something about liquor and anime. I'm Shane.
I'm Scott.
Cheers. What are we drinking tonight, Scott?
We've got Mango Mosaic, which apparently is just okay.
It's just okay. It's by Breckenridge Brewery.
Yeah. And then we got some Jägermeister.
We've been doing some Jaeger bombs for the night,
Jaeger bombs.
which is fine. It's good.
It's fine. It's doing fine.
It's fine. It's a lot of energy drink, so...
So much energy. So much energy drink. Too much energy. All in all.
Special tonight, we drank almost an entire bottle of Jaeger before this, so it's going to be a fun one. We're still drinking, so...
Let's see how we are by the time this ends.
This is true. Okay, but first to start off to say a little bit about our podcast. As you know, we're doing everything monthly now instead of weekly / bi-weekly. It's just easy for us with scheduling whatnot, considering that we both have jobs. Plus, it's probably not good to get wasted as much as we do once a week.
Yeah, people have started getting concerned. We've gotten questions.
We've gotten questions about the alcoholism of us, so we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, we're at least not gonna record it for like posterity.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah,
which is why we're gonna be especially drunk from now on each month.
Yeah, because it's like, if we're not doing it all the time, you gotta do twice as much.
Like we pregame tonight for this podcast since, like, it's almost 11 o'clock right now, p.m. We've been pregaming for a good 2 hours now, about.
Okay. Enough bragging or confessions?
Confessions. Just straight up alcoholism. Anyway, but we want to talk about a little about the format. We're not really going to discuss anything about like a topic tonight. This is mainly just getting into what we're going to be doing for the future.
Yeah, we're kind of trying like a new type of format out. So let us know what you think of it after this episode.
We had like a basic format that we wanted to do in the beginning of this podcast, but that has kind of turned into something a little more structured. It was kind of just like a random like pick a topic, talk about it, whatever kind of thing. We're going to be still doing that. But
that'll be like, in the amount of time that we're filling now with like this basic discussion, like this will be the area that we fill with like a broader topic.
Yes. So this is what I was going to get into, but the first 20 minutes to a half an hour of our podcast now will be the main topic that we want to just kind of go into, something that we think about throughout the month that we're not recording. Anything that comes to mind. And then the last half an hour to 15 minutes of it will be us doing our... we're doing kind of like an anime book club type situation.
Anime book club.
Where we're just going to talk about what we're currently watching, whatnot. We're also going to start a segment after this month's podcast where we thought of a good idea where we're just going to watch just a fucking just horrible anime.
Just dog shit.
And just horrible, and then just kind of bring our thoughts to the table on what we think about this. Our first one that we know that we're definitely going to do is Ghost Stories.
And we're doing the dub, correct?
Yeah, we're doing the dub.
You gotta do the dub.
Because the dub is ridiculous. We've seen a bunch of clips from it.
I said jump!
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, that anime was... You know, obviously the dub got, like... For those who don't know anything about Ghost Stories, basically what happened was that they made this anime that didn't get very popular in ratings, so when they gave it over to the dub crew to dub it, the corporation that made the anime pretty much said, do whatever the fuck you want with the voicing. It does not matter.
They did whatever they wanted.
They did whatever they wanted to. It was ridiculous. But I'm ready to see... I think it's like 19 episodes. We're ready to get to
I'm ready
that.
to see it in full. We've only seen like a best of...
Yeah.
Like, type of compilation, like, that type of deal. So I'm ready to see...
Like, the full-on thing in action.
Yeah, I'm ready to see the gems that have gone untouched by, like, any type of list. Like, the one we watched. Like, the shit that just slips through the cracks.
As of right now, also, I've been thinking about this a lot. We're not doing our hentai moan game anymore just because of how distracting it was. So we're trying to come up with a new game for the future as well. If you guys have any comments or suggestions, please let us know. In the future, we're also planning to do kind of like a questioning segment. if you guys have any questions or anything, just fucking stupid. I would love I would love stupid questions.
Send us just the most absurd, like dumb, hard to answer questions that can pop into your mind. Just the stupidest.
I want some like my brother and me type questions. That
I'm glad you said it, because that's like exactly what I was like. We're talking some Yahoo level type shit. Like, how do I get my mother's breast milk even though I'm 18? Like, just the weird shit. Okay.
Is that an actual
I don't think
question?
So. I hope not.
I hope it's just about horses. If you have any anime horse-related questions, please let us know.
Horses? I don't get it. I don't get the horses.
It's a my brother and me question.
It's fuck our podcast. Just go listen to My Brother and Brother.
Listen to My Brother and Me. It's 10 times better than our podcast. Anyway,
Or just listen to them and then give us their questions and then we'll just answer them.
Even though it's not anime, because that makes no sense, because this is an anime podcast.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we're an anime podcast. Yeah. How do you not know this by now? Anyway, drink to that.
By the way, God. In case y'all were wondering, this beer is, it's just okay.
Yeah.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, I had it the other night, and like I remember I was really pissed off because
it's not good. It's not good. Really.
They have a Blue Moon right now that's mango, and I really like that stuff. And I was gonna buy a sixer of it, and then as I was like at the alcohol store, my dad was with me, and he was like, "You shouldn't get that. You should get this stuff because it's much better." And my dad and me have very different tastes in beer.
I can tell. If he said this is better than the
yeah, he fucking loved that stuff, and I was just like, it's just okay. Anyway, but yeah, we're moving on to a new format. This is kind of what we're going to be doing from now. Eventually, we're going to introduce other stuff into the future, but for now, this is kind of it. In the beginning, when we first started this podcast, we had kind of like a general, very rough idea of what we wanted to do, and now we have a very clear idea of what we want to do in the future of this podcast. So that'll be it. We were planning to take more time with this, but there's not really a whole lot to explain about it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just the one thing about how like we're doing different things.
Yeah, if you have any comments or suggestions for us in the future, please let me know. You can email us at like otakushotglass@gmail.
We also have a Twitter. I feel like I made a Twitter.
We have a Twitter.
Okay.
We have a Twitter. I've used it like a few times in the beginning, and then I just like forgot to use it.
Yeah, this is like our fresh start. It's like
yeah. This is just wiping the slate clean.
This is Retcon episode 001.
We're trying our best. When I first got into like the idea of doing a podcast, I was expecting to do a whole lot of work. I wasn't expecting to like really like have such a like idea in mind of really what I wanted to do. It was kind of like a bullshit.
It's
whatever.
like we were just talking into a microphone. Which is really, if you break it down, what we're still just doing. We're still doing that,
but I mean, like,
we're trying to put structure to it. Please help us. We're some inept fools.
Yeah,
at least I am. This guy kind of knows what he's doing.
And we want to say thank you to all those. Like, I think we have like 15 to 20 listeners.
Did we do the introductions?
Did we do introduction? What do you mean?
Did we do the you're Shane and I'm Scott? Did we?
Yeah, we did that in the beginning.
Oh, I'm just a drunk guy. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, but like, thank you to our fans who are actually still tuning in to listen to us. Please spread it around, whatnot. We're still trying to get viewers. But moving on, this will be our first kind of introduction to Anime Book Club.
Anime Book Club. Yep. I need to first off, I need to talk about how much I love the title for that segment of anime, but like it's not manga, which I feel like is like anime but in book form.
Manga book club.
But it is in fact, it's anime being a show and then book club.
We should do
But it's not a book.
We should do a manga book club in the future.
Yeah, we definitely should. But my point here is the title of Anime Book Club is just hilarious to me in its redundancy.
That's true. But yeah.
So lesbians.
Okay.
Yeah, so
no,
we're gonna be talking about
no, hang on.
Lovers and Franxx and Lucifer and lesbians.
That's great. That's a great description. Hang on. Let me just say this though. From now on, also, right, like during our anime book club, if you are not watching any of these animes, we're gonna list off what we're watching. You can key into the stuff that you want to listen to, whatnot. just no spoilers ahead. We're going to be going into very much detail about the shows and what is currently going on in them, considering that we are caught up.
Yeah, we're going to try to watch stuff that's, like, currently airing and kind of, like, popular in the community, so that hopefully, like, not too many people are going to have to skip around.
We might actually do some stuff, because, like, I was thinking about this also, where we might just do a couple things that are not currently airing, but just anime that I wanted to go through in general.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that lately I've just, I don't know what happened to me, but, like, for a long time I was like, I love anime, but, like, for a long time I was not watching a ton of it, and, like, lately I've just been watching fucking series after series, catching up on a bunch of shit. So maybe in the future we'll also just talk about things that we've just watched in general that we've talked about.
And I know we have a lot of things that, like, things that I've watched already that I want you to watch and vice versa.
Yeah, I know. Like, currently right now, Scott loves Samurai Champloo.
That's my favorite. It's one of my favorite animes.
I'm just now starting it. Oh yeah, a fun thing for just before we continue, since we're trying to take up time. Me and Scott actually went to Comic-Con a couple years back. a couple weeks back. In like the beginning of this month, and it was really fun. Scott actually had a booth there that he was part of.
I got to work there. The company that I work for had like a booth. I don't know why. They have nothing to do with Comic-Con, but it was fun. I got to wear an Akatsuki robe around.
My Akatsuki robe.
Yeah.
Which you stole from me at this point.
I wear it around the house all the time. I don't know if you want it back. I wear it after I get out of the shower.
No, you can have it. It's yours.
It's so comfy.
I bet it was.
I just get so cold.
That was Scott's cosplayed as. I didn't do any anime cosplay. I'm a huge fan of Archie comics. I actually went as Jughead. But I'm currently wearing that pretty much right now at the moment.
Yeah, it's a very good cosplay.
It's very subtle.
In my opinion. I mean, if I didn't know what it was, I wouldn't have been able to guess it.
That's very true. No one really understood who I was besides other people dressed like me.
I felt like I ran into a few people, like I ran into somebody dressed like cosplaying as Kakashi, and I was like, let's go, like let's show down. And I feel like they just looked at me like, it's your first Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Comic-Con's fun. That was probably I think that was like my second or third one I've been to. There's not a ton of anime stuff there, but like...
Yeah, not a whole lot.
There is like
I bought Mugen's sword from that one booth.
Yeah, Scott bought Mugen's sword from Samurai Champloo.
Impulse buy, not a good purchase. Don't waste your money.
I bought a figurine of Shinobu, which was very low quality after buying it. Yeah, we went over this.
Shame. That vendor was so on point, though. I'm disappointed.
Hear how on point this is. So, I'm looking at this statue, and, like, I guess, we were talking pretty loud, though, because, like, I mean, I get it, but, like, she was, like, inside of the booth, and, like, the figures
just
were
kind of doing her own thing, and,
yeah.
like, we were discussing, he was asking me, like, advice on which figurine he should purchase.
Yeah, I was like,
he was, like, on the fence between a few of them.
Yeah.
So we're discussing it, and he finally makes a decision, and then... She just had it ready.
Yeah, like by the time I got there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this one. And then I finally went to the booth to ask for it, and then she's already fucking had it. And I was like,
had it in the box, bagging it up, ready for him.
And I was so happy about that. The figure was just okay though. It was Kizu Monogatari Shinobu, like I think it's like the third transformation for her. My favorite version of her.
Nah, the lolly version's the best.
Scott's a lolly.
We've discussed it. We discussed it. That's a joke. That's a joke. Move on.
I will never move on.
Let's talk about lesbians. Come on.
Okay, so now moving on.
I want to talk about those lovely lesbian ladies.
Hang on. So from now, also just know this. I'm gonna be also. Okay, so I'm going to be running out a lot of things with Scott here because he loves to just interrupt me the entire time. I'm going to explain to you what I think. So, Scott, from now on, whenever we start this, know that I will be the one introducing it.
Oh,
if I can speak.
Okay, whoa.
Because you just love to get into it right away. Anyway, but
I'm excited. What do you want? I'm
you
excited.
I get it.
I like this one.
But from now on, spoilers ahead. We're now currently beginning Anime Book Club. We watched 3 animes right now that we're currently getting that are caught up with whatnot. So the first one we'll be discussing is Citrus, which we're both we love it so far, actually. Then Darling in the Franxx, and then Devilman.
Yes.
So starting with Citrus, it's good.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It's very heartwarming.
Yeah, it's definitely it makes my heart feel good.
That's a great description there, bud.
I don't know. I think it develops his characters really nicely. Like I was talking to you earlier, I was expecting when I first started watching it more of a story arc that goes like more of one arc that goes throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
But as we're seeing now, like we just kind of entered that second arc of like this is the next like problem that they're dealing with.
So the main thing for those who, if you are tuning into this,
should we say what episode we're on?
Yeah, we're on episode, which is the current episode, which is 7 that aired on Saturday.
Yeah. So when we do this, since we're doing this monthly now,
kind of talk about what
we're gonna be like a few episodes at a time. So
just know we're on episode 7 right now. You know, for those who have watched Citrus and are listening to this, you all know, kind of seen all the issues that have been going on and what's caught up and whatnot. And it's like I talked to Scott about this recently or tonight. But oh god,
Jesus, relax.
Too much Jaeger. But the main thing about it is that it's your basic shoujo romance kind of style anime. Where it's...
And, like, this is something that... Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's like, the main thing about it is that it's just, like, stereotypical shoujo romance anime is there's the couple who... The overarching plot of the story is that you're trying to get this couple to get together. But then there are minor inconveniences put in the way that has to do with, like, their feelings, or maybe, like, someone comes in that's, like... gonna possibly steal the other person away from them. Like, what the fuck is happening now with that one fucking girl who's got pink hair? But
it's interesting to me that, like, something that you brought up, Shane, was, like, you've seen it before. Like,
I've seen it 100 times before.
But this is this is a genre that I don't play around with very much. Like, I haven't seen a whole lot of, like shoujo type of, like,
for those
anime.
who don't know, I fucking love shoujo romance anime. It is one of my favorite genres. Slice of life is the shit to me. Like, I'll take anything, but like just a very sweet, like just so innocent anime that is just all just slice of life is just so good to me for some reason.
So I found it very interesting that. So, like, I don't watch that genre, like, a whole lot.
Yeah, I know.
Typically, like, so I found it interesting that watching Citrus, I enjoyed it very much, and it was something, like, new to me, like, this whole, like, romance type of storyline with these two characters, like, falling in love with each other and figuring out, like, kind of what that means and navigating the obstacles in their life around, like, how they feel towards one another. But it's like, to you, it's maybe not that exciting because it's something you've seen, like, over and over. So it's interesting to me how maybe it's only something that's so good to me because it's one of my first experiences in that genre.
I'll say this. So, like, me and Scott had a conversation about this earlier before the podcast, but, like, Scott has very strong feelings towards Citrus and really likes it. And to me, like... don't get me wrong, I love it so far, it's really good, but, like, in terms of, like, an anime and, like, rating, so far, it's not something I would immediately recommend to somebody. Like, if I could recommend, like, if I'm talking about, like, a shoujo romance anime to recommend to somebody, that is not the first thing I would ever recommend to somebody. There are a lot of other things I recommend. I mean, also, it's Yuri, so, like, I also don't know if you're into that.
Well, apparently I am.
Like, take this for instance. This is a very basic thing I talked about with him earlier, but, like, say, this is kind of different because the show I'm about to mention isn't exactly purely a romance, but I would say it has a lot of romance in it, so I would recommend it. But if I'm comparing this, if I was going to mention something that is gay to somebody firsthand, I would mention something as it like Yuri on Ice, because
but there's still Yuri in there.
But there's no Yuri in there.
You just gotta get that Yuri. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
This is very much...
very much Yuri.
Not Yuri. This is very much yaoi. Not even yaoi, because...
Very much yaoi. It's the opposite of Yuri.
There was no sex. So therefore, no. They get really sexual in Citrus.
They really do. And I think they play it off really well in, like, the scenes where it's supposed to be, like, weird and uncomfortable. It's like, that's how you feel when it happens. You're like,
yeah,
oh, what the fuck?
Like,
but then when it's also, like, the scene we already said spoilers, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's like, the scene we just, like, in the latest episode where she just starts, like, feeling her up, like, kind of out of nowhere. It's like, that's supposed to be, like, kind of uncomfortable and unsettling, because it's like, that's what the protagonist is feeling at the time. But then the times when it's like something that they want, it's like they do a good job of demonstrating of like when you're kind of supposed to feel uncomfortable with it and when it's like something that you want to happen, like you're expecting it.
My thing with it mainly is that
like I don't feel like there's ever unnecessary like sexual action going on.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. My thing with it mainly is that, first of all, I do recommend it. For those who are not watching it currently, if you are listening to this, it's good. It's a solid romance, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say, just like my overall thoughts on it, just so I can get him out there.
That's fine.
Like, I think that they do a really good job. I'm too fucking drunk to talk about it. They do a really good job of...
That's the point of this podcast.
I know. They do a good job of... like developing the characters and the romance between them, not just in like the writing and the dialogue between them, but just in little things like the outfits that they have the characters wearing, like the wardrobe of the characters, and how like I was talking about this with you, how like Yuzu's wardrobe over time becomes more like conservative and more in line with the school's code the more she gets closer to Mei.
The thing I really love about Citrus so far, so just to give, in case you're listening to this and you don't really know what it's about, it's...
well, we've already, like...
I mean, yeah, essentially.
It's too late at this point. You know everything about it.
But, you know, it's a girl who figures out she's essentially a lesbian, and she moves to a new school that's all girls. She moves in with, like, her mother gets remarried, and she has, like, a new stepsister who she is in love with at the beginning. And she's still in love with her. It's a whole situation. But I like how throughout time, so, you know, obviously they started to get closer and whatnot in Yuzu's eyes, who's the main character. But I really like how there are a lot of just things that she does for the sake of Mei that's very just subtle. Like, you see a lot of, like the wardrobe thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's very subtle. There's nothing that she has to do to, like, really win her love. It's always just like hey, I'm going to start wearing and be better. And, like, recently, in the most recent episode, she, in order to please, like, their grandfather, she had to get into the top 100 of their school.
And she, like, even though Mei was helping her, she also, like she was working on it. Like, she wanted to try.
She worked hard for it.
Yeah. And, like, she got it. Like, she, just barely, I feel like she was, like, in the high 90s.
Yes. The thing that fucking really pisses me off about this anime, though, is that we're in this situation right now, which is kind of a stereotypical thing, where obviously one of them likes the other one.
Yeah. And
the other one is too stubborn and strict to really say the feelings that they want to say.
Yeah, that is really annoying.
It's very much prideful, and they don't really want to get into it quite yet. And
but I also feel like Mei just has this perspective of, like, she obviously cares about Yuzu, and she knows that, like, being in a sexual relationship with her stepsister, like, if that rumor gets around, like, it'll fuck up her life.
Yeah, I get it.
And it's like, Mei obviously does care about Yuzu, so it's not just that she's too stubborn. I feel like she's having this conflict of, like, this is what I want, but, like, it'll fuck up my life and it'll fuck up Yuzu's life. Like, it's better if we don't do this. I feel like that's the perspective she's coming at it from.
But it's also like first first of all, has been leading her on because
fuck yeah,
and
she
playing with her emotions.
Like, she borderline sexually assaults her like in the beginning, and then when Yuzu was like, "Hey, actually, let's do this," and then she's like, "No."
But I hate how in this most current episode that just happened, basically what happened is that they introduced a new character that's like a threat to the main relationship.
What was her name?
Matsuri?
Matsuri, that's right.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
So, yeah, fuck Matsuri.
I love her character design, though.
Yeah, she's a cool character design, but
she looks really cool.
Really fucking annoying voice.
Yeah. And it's almost like her voice is, I feel like...
Fake?
Made to feel like kind of fake and annoying. Like, it sounds like she's trying to be all cutesy, and it's like, you're a bitch.
That's true.
Like, go fuck yourself, you pink-haired bitch.
But, like, getting very non-biased.
Bubblegum chewing, pink-haired bitch.
My God.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, my God.
I'm just describing her appearance and then saying bitch afterwards.
Putting all of that aside. Oh, my God. You are hardcore about this. Drink to that.
The best part is that, like... When I first saw the intro to it, I was like, I want to get to know this pink-haired girl. Like, she seems cool.
I want to get to know this pink-haired bitch.
But it's like, she's a bitch. Like, she's a total, like...
That's true. Excuse me while I'm pouring another bomb. Anyway.
I feel like you should preface bomb with Jaeger. We don't want the government
We're making a bomb.
Into these.
There's the Red Bull. Anyway, the thing I just fucking hate about this anime so far, though, is that right now, with the current episode... Basically, the one little bitch is just trying to stir up trouble with them. And, like, because, like, obviously, she makes it clear that she knows that Yuzu likes Mei.
Yeah.
And...
Which, also, it's like, she's really in tune to that. Like, she looks at a picture, and she's like, oh, so you love your sister. Like, she analyzes it correctly instantly. Also... And it's like, no normal person can do that. Like, that's clearly just writing.
I find it weird that everybody is a lesbian.
I mean,
not everybody's a lesbian, but like...
Well, they do kind of talk about how, like...
The school
being at an all-girls school, it's like a lot of the girls like to, like... Fool around, essentially.
But, like, this little... First of all, this girl is in middle school. She's in her second year of middle school, and, like, Yuzu was like, you're like my little sister. And,
She is banging her little sister, though. It's like... I feel like out of... legitimate little sister and like I shouldn't say like I guess
they're not legitimate though. Yeah, they're still not legitimate.
Still though, I feel like stepsister and then like friend who is like a sister. I mean, it's like if you're gonna bang one of them, one of them is a lot less morally wrong.
I guess, but like okay, the thing I was mainly getting into here was that.
But also, fuck that little bitch.
I mean, true. The thing I hate about it is
not literally.
Hey,
sorry.
Fuck you. The thing
later.
Sorry. The thing I hate about the anime so far is that, like, regardless of, like, all the shit that happens between them, like Mei doesn't want to accept it, but, like, now that she saw them, like, her and, what is it, Matsuri? She saw her and Matsuri kiss in public. She's, like, now suddenly, like... Oh, like, I like you.
She's jealous.
She's jealous now. But it's like, if you want her that badly and you feel that way about her, fucking do it before it's too late.
I guess I agree. Like, I agree with you.
Also, it's not like she's your real sister. You guys have known each other for like 2 months.
But it's also...
Also, what's up with that weird-ass family? How do you get married and
you don't even see him for months?
You don't even know that you have a sister. You don't know that you have a sister. You didn't know anything of... You didn't see the marriage. You didn't even see the wedding. I don't get it, man.
You met your new stepfather. You're like, oh, who's this weirdo that just showed up at our door? Oh, hey, it's Papa.
Hey, it's Papa. You know, Papa. And like, oh, it's Mei, my new sister, who just came into my home without me thinking. How did Mei know and not Yuzu?
Because Mei's fucking smart. I don't know.
I guess, but it's like, this isn't smart. This is like, you should know if you have a sister or not now.
I mean, maybe it's just a weird cultural thing that we don't get.
That's another thing. Is just like it might just be the Japanese culture that I'm not getting here, but it's like I feel like even in every culture, I feel like if you got remarried, you would know who your family is.
You would at least know.
Yeah,
like you would have met.
That's kind of like the plot hole within all of this was that it was just kind of like a weird like, oh my god, like, you're my sister now? And, like, where's my dad? My new dad? Oh, he's out of town? He's traveling the world? Oh!
Yeah, such a convenient... I feel like...
And like,
there's
I
a
married
shit
this...
ton of anime where it's just like, oh, my parents are just randomly gone all the time.
That's so fucking weird, though.
I
mean, then again, in Japanese culture, I feel like, from what I've noticed, is that a lot of the kids kind of break off really early in life and kind of do their own thing.
That's true.
But it's also like you should know who your like stepfather is and whatnot. But like, all right.
It's very weird. Their whole family situation is very weird. I feel like there's kind of a cultural disconnect that we're missing a little bit. But at the same time, it's like I feel like even people in the show are like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you know like who your sister is?
That's true. Another thing is that, like, I don't know. There's just a lot of weird things about it. I like the anime. I think it has a lot to go. We're going to see how it goes, obviously, by the time the new episode starts. And
Yeah.
In a month, it'll be pretty much over.
I mean, it's like, we know where they're going to get together.
Yeah.
It's like, that's
in the opening.
It's in the intro of the show. Like, that's the whole premise of the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the plot.
That's the plot. That's the plot.
Like, how do they get together? Well, we'll see.
But, like, this is what I was, like, I think I said this in the beginning, but, like, the main thing about, like, shoujo romance is that, like, the main goal in the end of the show that you're trying to work for is obviously the couple getting together, and then the plot arcs throughout the entire show is just things that interfere with their love.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like, it's all pretty much a means to an end.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it. You got any other thoughts?
Yuri.
Yuri?
I like Yuri.
That's great.
Okay.
Good for you. Anyway, the thing that I want to... Next thing we're going on to is...
While we're on the topic of weird sex things, let's talk about Darling.
So...
Or should I say Franxx?
That was a good way to bring that up, actually.
That's called a segue.
That's called a segue.
You know, like those weird things you stand on with wheels?
I do know those.
It's called a segue.
Anyway, the segue, apparently, which I've just been informed about. But the next thing we're going to be moving on is Darling in the Franxx. So, Darling in the Franxx.
Sex. Unadulterated sex. It's all just a euphemism for sex.
Kind of.
So much sex. No, not even kind. Literally, like...
Their mechs are shaped in the way that the woman is facing down in the doggy style position.
It's constant doggy style.
And then is suddenly put on, like...
And then is a robot.
Yeah, and then there's a... Yeah, and then is the robot. Anyway.
Are they the robot, or are they part of the... I don't... You talk.
I don't get the world. Anyway.
I feel like no, never mind. You talk.
So my thoughts for Darling so far is that, like... So you have the whole, like... You know, weird mech situation, their weird world that you're not really aware of. And, like...
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Like, so far, the way that me and Scott have described how Darling in the Franxx is that the best thing I can compare it to so far is God Eater.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen God Eater is essentially a post-apocalyptic universe where there are monsters that you fight. You have to have a certain criteria to fight them. If you don't have that criteria, you're basically banished to the wasteland.
And the way you fight them is
through them, essentially.
Yeah,
like the monsters.
It's through a weapon made from the same, like, basic materials, I guess, as what the monsters are.
Yeah, and, like, that's where I'm kind of getting conflicted about Darling, is that, like, I feel like they're, what are they called again? They're Franxx? Yeah, the Franxx in general.
Yeah, like the mechs.
The mechs, I feel like, are made in some way out of the monsters.
It's weird that they have faces.
Yeah, it is weird.
Can we talk about how it's weird
the
that
mechs are fucking weird.
Yeah. Although they also, in the latest episode we just watched, they kind of address how, like, apparently the main characters who we're following, like, their mechs look weird.
Yeah, because
like, even in their world.
Did you see their mechs?
Yeah,
they look all the same.
Very uniform, and they have like the same weapons. Which, to be fair, for a military, makes more sense. I feel like
I don't really get that about them. I'm hoping that they'll go into it. Mainly, the whole thing about Darling is that it's going to be 24 episodes, and we're currently on episode 7, and the whole main first arc about it was just them finally getting to Hiro, the main character, finally getting with 02 and understanding that he's going to live after the third time he rides.
This is something that I was talking about with Shane for a little while, is how I like it, I guess, but like notice there's an I guess in there.
Yeah, it's like okay, yeah, I know.
I'm so bored with it. It's like they spent so much time developing, like, is he gonna live if he rides with her? Like, duh, he's the protagonist. Like, of course he's gonna live. Like, I'm just so bored with it. It's like they don't explain anything. I just have so many questions and so few answers and no interest in them at all.
My main reason for staying with the show so far is that I love 02. I love her personality. She's a fucking cool ass anime character.
I feel like she's cool compared to the rest of them, but
also, like, can we talk about their cultist society? Like,
yeah, how they're all like, I want to protect Papa. Why do they call him Papa? Like, choose a different name. Like, if you're gonna be a creepy cult leader,
that's true.
Don't call yourself Papa, please. It's anything else. It's like, already a cult.
Their society is just very confusing to me. It's not like God Eater was very easy to follow in terms of their society because they made it very clear what their society was like in the beginning.
That's one of the main problems I have with Darling and the Franxx. It's like it feels like they're trying to do a lot of like explaining their society without putting a lot of exposition in, because exposition shut the fuck up. Exposition can be like kind of very annoying to sit through and like to watch them explain everything out. But at the same time, you need a little bit of that, or you at least if you're going to try to explain things without having a character just sit there and say it to you, like you need to make an effort to actually put it into the story. It's like I have no idea, like they call themselves parasites. Like, what is a parasite? Who is Papa? What is he to them in their society? Like, what the fuck? How do you even pronounce the names of the things that they're fighting?
Like
Colicosaurs, Clitsaurs? Are they Clitsaurs?
Clixors.
That sounds like it would hurt.
Like Calixors or something like that.
Whatever, the giant fucking cube fucking glowing robots.
It's also like it's also weird to me because the monsters are all different, and according to them, and it's they say this. So 02 is half Calixor, I'll call it. I don't know if I'm doing the pronunciation right at all.
Yeah, it's like,
and half human, which implies that a man
those things can mix.
Can have sex or something or breed somehow with a human.
But then
alive.
There's also things like Beyond the Boundary, though, where it's like he's half whatever the monsters in that thing are.
But like with Yomu, like at least Yomu can have a human form.
True.
That's different.
I don't know. The whole anime I feel like is underexplained, underdeveloped, and spends way too much time on things that don't matter.
Okay.
That's my basic breakdown on why I'm like, I can see that there's good ideas behind it. I like 02 as a character. I think there's a lot of room for development with the whole, like, what are they? It's like 013 is like their squad.
I think
like
so,
their group. Like, I can see I can see room for development in all those characters, but it's like, fucking do it. Like,
yeah.
We spent the last 7 episodes of like, is he the right partner for 02? Will he be able to survive?
I will say,
like,
though,
duh. He's the protagonist. Of course he will.
I will say I like this episode because they finally closed it off.
Yeah, they did.
And also, like, I like the whole aspect of 02 because it's like everybody thinks she's a monster, and like the whole thing was like in an episode previously, she talked about like how he was like either going to like she was like, now's your time to back out because next is the third ride with me. Mm-hmm. You'll either die or you can back out now. But he was like, I'm going to stay with you. And she was like, I like that about you is the fact that you don't view me as a monster. Mm. And the fact that you actually want to ride with me. Because most of the people who have been put with her were put against her just because she needed a partner.
I think it'll go up from here. Yeah. Because like we just said, like they stopped like doing the basic development of like will they, won't they do it together. It's like obviously we know they will.
Yeah.
So it's like now that they've gotten past that, they kind of touched on a very interesting topic of like why do you pilot?
Yeah.
Essentially, and his reason at first was like to serve Papa, like to protect everybody, like in this weird cult that they have.
But now it's like I want to be with you.
Yeah. And I found it interesting that if that was Hiro's reasoning, and like at first that like I want to protect like Papa and the other like adults or whatever the fuck they call them, it's like I feel like that would have been the other people that piloted with her, like that would have been their reasoning, since it has kind of set up they're in this weird brainwashed cult. But then like now that his reason has changed and is like I want to pilot because like I want to ride with you, basically like I want to be your wings is what he says.
Yeah.
So it's like now that his reason has changed, I think I lost what I was gonna say. I think their reasons for piloting now are both different than everybody else around them.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of what their strength is that like they're kind of doing it for their own reasons, like
and not the cult of society.
They're not fighting for their society. It's like they have their own reasoning for what they want to do, and I feel like that's why the mech that they pilot, which the name I can't pronounce. We get it.
Stelzia or something like that.
I feel like that's why maybe that particular mech is so strong, is that the people that pilot it have to like be driven by their own reason.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Like I feel like now that they've kind of gotten past the beginning stages, I think it has a lot of room for growth and a lot of room to explore the characters it's developed. It just hasn't done that up till now.
What do you think's the deal with the guy who was introduced at the end of the show last episode? The guy with the blonde hair. Do you think that's like the beginning introduction to the new arc?
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is 100%. He's either going to be, he's probably some type of prodigy pilot, or he has something special about him, and there's going to be some type of competitive thing between like him and Hiro, and then there's also going to be like that one guy that tried to pilot with 02 and like
the ass that almost died.
And then he's going to be like, I'm part of it too, but then he's not really. It's just
I hope
Hiro
he dies.
And the other guy.
I hope he dies. There's a lot of people in like, okay, I'll say this. So like another thing about it is that there's a lot of times where I've noticed where obviously Darling is very sexual. And
yeah, can we talk about how the whole thing is just like a euphemism for sex?
Essentially, like
it's like they're all partnered up, and they just like their mechs are in like when the girls pilot the mech, they're like straight up bent over, and it's like
and they moan.
Well, why do they need two people? Why do they need two people?
Their mechs are also weird because they like connect somehow like to the machine with some type of like mental link.
Why can only girls do that?
Are
there like not gay, but like are there gay like groups where like the guy is the link?
I hope so. That'd be cool to see.
I mean, it makes sense. Like
I'm sure we could see something about that for all we know. Okay, my thing here though.
It's also weird how they don't address like, hey, this is weirdly sexual. Like I feel like if I had to pilot a mech and I had to pilot it with a girl and she was bent over in front of me all the time in a skin tight suit, I would be like, hey, should we acknowledge how this is weirdly sexual?
That's so true, though. Like, what the fuck?
Like, not even in like a...
That's why I like 02 also, because she acknowledges that he's kind of like a boyfriend to her.
Yeah. It's also weird how Goro the whole time... Whatever. Goro the whole time is like... Like, I feel like he's trying to help Ichigo out with Hiro, but then it's also like, but you're the one banging her in the mech.
He's like the best boy of this situation.
He's just such a guy.
He
just wants his friends to be happy.
I love him so much.
He's probably my favorite character.
He's definitely my favorite character. Like, he's such a good guy.
He's just like, hey, Hiro, you're gonna die. Like, I know you want to do this, but you're gonna die. Don't do this. And it's also like,
what a good friend.
Hey, your best friend loves you. Like, would you realize that already, you fucking idiot?
Like, what a good friend.
Like, his partner is literally like, I want to partner with this guy, not you. And he's like, go get him. Like, go get him, Tiger.
Okay, I'm going to say one last thing, and then I'm going to move on. So, one thing that I want to talk about, no interruptions, damn it. But the main thing that I saw is also, there was a time where you saw whatever the one, I don't remember his name at all, but he piloted with Zero Two in the middle of something, and he ended up getting really hurt, and because he was like trying to be hero, whatnot.
The asshole.
Yeah, the asshole.
Yeah.
But
We'll
like,
just call him the asshole.
The asshole.
Who cares what his name is?
But it made it seem almost like during that time where, because like they were gonna pilot it, and like, you know, they keep obviously like being like, no, you can't ride together, or whatnot.
Yeah.
But they almost made it seem as if
it's also weird how they're like, I want to ride you.
Yeah, I know. Will you
Okay.
ride me? But like they made it seem as though like, because she was like, are you gonna ride with me or not? And then he was like, no, you need to ride with him because that's important right now.
Yeah.
But it also made it seem as though kind of like asking a guy to be like, I guess you can have sex with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
I guess that's the whole point of having them be like, that's the thing of it though, is that piloting for them is like an intimate experience. It's like when you link up with somebody, like, that's intimate in the same way that like having sex with somebody is intimate.
Yeah.
So that's like the whole analogy. Like, that's the whole thing of it. Like, when I was saying the show is a whole analogy for sex, it's like, I'm not kidding at all. It 100% is.
It's very sexual.
Yeah.
Plus, you get into like the mind of the girl you're with. Like,
Yeah.
That's how it
there's
goes.
a literal
They
like
both get into
mental link.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I want to say. It's very sexual. It's okay to me. I out of all the things I'm watching currently out of the season, by the way, besides Scott watching, only me and him are watching Scissors and Franxx together as a whole. Obviously, Devilman is finished, but I'm also watching. I'm watching Overlord, which is weird. Goddamn weird. The second season is very weird. I'm watching Dagashi Kashi, which is good. It's very heartwarming, whatnot. I'm also watching Ito Junji, which is like the horror story collection, which is good. It's kind of like a little thing to... Oh, shit, we never talked about this, that we're also watching Pop Team Epic.
Pop Team Epic.
Are you getting the beer?
Of course I am.
Okay, Scott is getting up in the middle of a beer.
I hope I'm talking loud enough for the mic to pick me up. And
Not really, no.
Okay, well, we'll hear it, whatever.
This podcast might go a little bit over an hour.
It's fine. Hand me the bottle opener. Okay, so Pop Team Epic. I have a few questions. The first one, what the fuck? The second one, who is this for? The third one, why do I love it?
Okay, those are some good questions,
Yeah.
actually. So, like, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, because I always forget that Pop Team Epic is a thing that we're watching right now, because it's so fucking bizarre. But, like, I personally love it, but for no reason at all.
Yeah, it's like, I definitely like it, and I guess I think it's pretty funny.
But why?
Yeah, but it's like, I don't get it. It's like, most of the time when I'm watching it, my thought process goes like this. It's like, I watch the thing, and then, like, the sketch ends. It's like, if you haven't seen it, it's like kind of a sketch comedy type of thing. Yeah, but it's like, I don't get it half the time. I'm just what is this?
I can tell there's a lot of I can tell there's a lot of Japanese references that we just don't get because we're American.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a lot of it.
But like, also, there's a lot of times where like it's just straight funny. Like, it's actually funny. Like the fucking what was it? The current episode that just came out. They had a really really cool thing where it was like, they had two guys that were like
they had like live, a shit ton of They were doing like a live
like drawing
type of thing. Like, they just had a bunch of drawings on a notepad, and they were doing a performance where like
they were
pretty
explaining
much
like
made
a segment.
manga on 2 or 3 notepads, and then like acted it out and like voiced it.
Yeah, and it was like super cool.
Yeah, as they like flipped the notepads, as like it's hard to explain, but it was actually really neat.
It was super cool.
But it was also inside of like a whole nother bit that they were doing, and it's like, what? What is this?
I don't want to get too in depth in the Pop Team Epic right now, but like I'll say this. So like it's weird, it's cool, it's funny. I think it's very out there. I like it. It's not like the best thing I've ever watched, but like it's definitely one of the most interesting things I watch in terms of how it's done.
Yeah, I need to talk about this.
Okay.
How if you watch it on Crunchyroll, it's like each episode is probably about like 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, but then they have the second half.
But then there's like, when you watch that on Crunchyroll, it takes up like a 23-minute time slot, or like a 30-minute time slot. So they'll have the first episode, and
Done
then
with the
like
female voice actors?
and then another episode airs immediately after that. Sometimes is exactly the same, except with male voice actors, or it'll be slightly different. Like they had this one episode where the only thing different about the episode is they used male voice actors, and then there's a scene where it shows like the voice actors in the studio voicing it out, and it's different people.
Yeah, it's different people that are
and
in
they
the set.
like they do and say different things, but then the rest of it, and like it's live action, like it's the real voice actor. Well, not
the real voice actor of the show,
but
but you
like
get it.
like they're real people in the sketch.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to just the animation, and it's the same episode, but with the male voice actors, and it's like, what? Like, why is it different for the second half?
I don't even get it.
Why is there two halves? I don't get it.
I like rewatch some of the second halves to find like differences in it, and there's always like just very, very slightly different, like a slight difference within it, and then like, that's it.
What happens with the anime at the end credits? I want to know. What is it? What is it? Girl drop? Something girl drop?
Oh yeah,
I wanna watch it.
Hoshino girl drop.
Yeah, I just want to see. What is it? What is the plot?
I
want to know. I would watch it.
Like if that anime was like a genuine anime, I would definitely watch it.
Yeah, it'd be on Anime Book Club for sure.
Definitely. Okay, but besides Pop Team Epic, which we will get into next time, I keep forgetting that we're watching it and keep forgetting to mention it. But moving on, we're gonna finally move on to Devilman, and then we're gonna cut this video.
Devilman, your thoughts. Go.
Put me on the spot here.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point.
So Devilman, in my opinion,
I would say that.
No, fuck you. God damn you. Anyway, for Devilman, so in my opinion of Devilman is that first of all, I really like Devilman. It was good. It wasn't like one of my top anime.
Yeah, same.
But like I really like the style. The fucking soundtrack is amazing. The animation is amazing.
Yes.
There's a lot of parts of the plot that were like really good to me, and there's a lot of parts of the plot that wasn't very good to me. It was very sad.
Preach.
But like there's a lot of just stuff that I really liked and really hated about Devilman.
Yeah. One of the things that probably the thing that I enjoyed the most about it is the artwork and the animation. Like there was one scene in particular. There's two scenes in particular that are stuck in my head of when I realized, or like not real, but like they really made me think like, 4 parts in particular that made me really realize like.
I love how it keeps going up.
Like holy shit, this animation is fucking good. Like the first part that I was really like, oh my god, like this is good, is when they're out by the docks, and Akira runs away because he's like he just beat the shit out of some guys.
Yeah, that was when he like first became a Devilman.
Yeah, and then Miki like runs after him, and up until then in the anime they've been talking about like oh she's really fast, like she's a good runner.
Yeah.
But then when it shows her like running to try to catch up to him, when I watched that I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so fast!
I love the running.
Yeah.
The running in Devilman is so cool.
They animate her even being fast. Like, just watching it, like, usually in anime when, like, they're like, oh, they're so fast. Like, it'll just do a flash step where it's like, they're there, and then there's, like, 3 lines drawn diagonally across the screen, and then they're gone, and then they reappear somewhere else, and they're like, whoa, he's fast. But it's like, when you watch her run, you're just like, whoa, she's fast. And then the characters are like, oh shit, she's fast.
But this one, they were like, super fast.
And then we need to talk about their crazy demon run. Whenever the people have like the Devilman bodies and they run, and they do that crazy, like, their arms flail around, like they're like straight up horizontal. It's such a creative way to show that like they're unleashing all of like the bestial nature within them, and how their running is totally out of control and all over the place, but super fast and like totally immeasurable to the people around them. Like, I really love the way that they show that.
One of the things I really loved about it, that we both love actually, is the fucking rapping.
Yeah, the
freestyle rap was so good.
Like, it just flows so tight, and even watching it with the subs, I feel like you can see like a pretty deep meaning in like the lyrics that are being spit out. Like even though like we don't get the full thing of it, I feel like, because we're like it's a translation.
Yeah.
So obviously like we can't grasp the full meaning, but like the lyrics felt meaningful and also plot relevant.
Yeah, they definitely were.
At the same time, like the flow of the rappers in the Japanese is very good.
It is,
in my opinion. I also love that they didn't use like just a beat. Like they had somebody actually beatboxing.
Yeah. One of the main things I really liked, actually, which I wanted to talk about, which just a shout out real quick to Kyle at Secret Otaku. Who also runs over at the Weeaboos podcast, which is another drunk anime podcast, which you guys should check out. But he makes videos on YouTube. He just recently did one for Devilman, actually. But he had a lot of really good points about how, like, throughout the series, you'll see that Akira has a lot of love for the world and a lot of compassion and a lot of just, that he cries for people when they don't want to cry and stuff like that. But then you have Asuka, who throughout the entire time doesn't really feel emotion and doesn't feel love through it. And then finally, in the end of the series, when the world has been destroyed and decimated, and the one person he truly talked to a lot has died, is when he truly felt the love of humanity.
So we're just going like full spoilers right now.
This is the spoiler segment.
You'll talk about like,
you could talk about anything. Just a
Loki
quick
dies in Thor.
Just a well, fuck you for people who like Marvel movies. But to spoil the shit out of everything, if we're really being clear here right now, everyone fucking dies in Devilman.
Yeah, that's true. That was
the only one who doesn't die is Asuka, and it's only because he's Satan.
That was one thing about the show that I didn't like, but I didn't have a problem with, if that makes sense. It's like, it's not one of those things where a character dies and you feel like, oh, the world, like this was set up kind of as a world where the heroes would always win. It's like, it was set up as a world where anybody could die. Like,
yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I was happy about it. It's like, I believed all the deaths. Like, it didn't feel like they were ever coming back. Like, the world was set up properly and that, like, it had consequences and people could really die and were gone forever. But at the same time, it's like, I didn't want any of those characters to die. So it's this weird problem of, like, I don't have a problem with the way it was set up, or... Am I making sense? I can't tell.
Hang on. Let me describe something really fast, though.
Okay.
This is a spoiler for Akame ga Kill. Which, actually, I'm going to get into. But to fuck you guys over who are listening to this right now, who have not watched Akame ga Kill.
We said spoilers.
Spoiler right here.
We said
but
it.
Fucking almost everybody besides Akame dies in Akame ga Kill. And at least in the anime. And that's where it was kind of like... When I was watching Devilman, as time passed and people started to die, I kind of realized that eventually everybody was going to die. But it's like there was a part literally like, so my favorite character throughout the entire series was Miki, and like I loved her to death. She was so cute and so happy and just like such an all around good girl. Just pure as fuck. And like, I was very, very upset when she died, even though I was fully aware that she was probably going to die.
Yeah.
And, like, but another thing is that, like, I'm going to get into this right now and go on a rant, but I am so pissed off on how she died because, first of all, everyone went after her for being attached to Akira, for being a devil man. But Akira was a fucking dumbass and decided to go to some random place to stop people from throwing rocks at people.
Just to put up some Jesus imagery. Jesus imagery of like, yeah, look at me with both my arms out so that I can sacrifice my well-being for these people behind me. And it's like, okay, Jesus, devil man, like, chill the fuck out, go save your friends.
I just hated how he went off to do this random shit.
He's such a dumbass.
That didn't make any sense, considering that a bunch of people in the world were dying. But
a bunch of children went up and hugged his legs, and it's like, okay, cool.
But the one person who he said himself that he was like, I
want to protect you more than anybody.
Yeah, he was like...
He says that verbatim. He says, I want to protect you more than anyone.
He left...
Am I interrupting?
Yes! The entire podcast. Anyway, but he left, and, like, he left her, and then ended up doing something fucking stupid, and then she ended up dying because of that. Also, at one point in time, he was running towards her, and you totally thought that he was going to, like, make it to her. But then he ended up going to the wrong place. And
he goes to their house instead of the beach. But it's like, how could he know, though?
I guess that's true, but, like, he should have stayed with her and not been a dumbass.
True.
But, like, either way, the world ended anyway, so it didn't fucking matter. But
he was with her in the beginning of that, and then he's like, hey, bye.
But, in the end, my thoughts of Devilman, I liked it a lot. I thought it was good. It was also just fucking sad and depressing in a way. And just
My overall thoughts of Devilman would be that I thoroughly enjoyed probably episodes like 1 through 6. And then after that, my interest dropped quite a bit. I thought the pacing was just a little bit off. I feel like there were some kind of like reveals that weren't really quite earned.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You told me at some point in time that you were going to say something that would piss me off.
Oh,
what was that?
Fuck. I don't remember. It's gone.
Damn.
Oh, fuck. Hold on.
Wait for Scott to jog his memory. Do the whole pushing into your brain.
Yeah. I'm trying, but it's just I'm not an immortal vampire, so I can't quite jam my hand into my head.
I'm sorry, you're not an immortal vampire.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm used to it, honestly. Do you remember what it was about?
You didn't say anything to me about it. You just told me that you were going to say something during the podcast that was going to piss me off, and I was going to go at you.
Fuck, it's gone.
Okay.
It's totally gone. But while I'm thinking about things that I was going to say, I was telling you about, like, one of the things that I was very happy with in Devilman was, like, all the designs of the demons.
Yeah,
I thought
those
were very
cool.
good. Yeah, all of them were very creative. I thought they did a good job of, like, not making them humanoid or, like, even a design that we would understand. Like,
they're
just nonsensical, like, beasts.
Yep.
Essentially, I was really happy with all of their designs. I was telling you about one of the scenes, all the transformation scenes of, like, Akira turning into Amon, I thought were very good, except for there was one scene where he turned back from being Amon into
himself
being Akira, and instead of having him like most of the times when he turned into a Devilman, it like showed his body transforming for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, but then there was one scene where it just showed like him as Amon, and then like kind of a faded image of Amon, like it just kind of showed him like fading away back into his human form. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
And it's like, I feel like with the rest of the animations you guys had for these transformations, like you could have shown him transitioning more smoothly.
I think at that point it didn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too distracting. Like,
plus that was the point in time where things started getting really dark.
Yeah, but I was just like, oh, like you spent all this time like having badass transformations, and now he's just gonna like slowly fade away. Like, I get it. Like, it's not it wasn't an important scene or anything.
In the end, to wrap this up, I will say that I did like Devilman. I liked it a lot. It was just very sad. There was a lot of good symbolism in it. Also, we talked about the whole runners aspect of it, where like they kept showing running and comparing it to like things in the show and stuff like that. And
not just running, but like the relay aspect of it in particular, like the way that Miki always tried to pass the baton to Akira, but in the end, like, he wasn't there. Like, he failed as their anchor, and like the whole theme of him being the anchor, like being the strong point of this team, pretty much, and then failing in the end.
But then in the end, the true anger that they kept showing was Akira passing it to Asuka. And then Asuka never... There was that whole point in their fight in the end of it where he kept trying to give it to him, and he wouldn't take it.
I would say, this might just be an issue that I have with the way that you phrased that just now, but with him being like the true anchor, I would say that is something that Akira considered Asuka to be. Like, he considered him to be like another part of the team, but really he wasn't. Like, he was never there. Yeah. So I feel like Akira was like the true anchor, but then he considered Asuka.
Yeah, as the true anchor.
Yeah, but then he never was, really.
Yes, but
do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, but in the end, that's the feeling of Akira.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Anyway, to finally wrap this up, Devilman was good. I highly recommend it. Just know it's very sad. It's very graphic. There's a lot of blood, gore, sex.
Oh, did we talk at all about the awesome animation of it?
Kind of. We talked a little bit about the animation.
Especially in the first few... It's another reason... Sorry to keep this fucking going.
No, it's okay. We got to wrap this up in the next few minutes.
I know. It's just... Another reason that I know. I've been going way harder than you. Another reason that I like the first few episodes as opposed to the latter episodes is that I think they kind of show off the animation way more. Like, even in the first and second episodes, the whole scene of Akira becoming a demon and like the scenes after where he's experimenting with his new body, like those scenes really show off the animation. I am with Shane. I recommend it, but I would only give it like a 6.5 out of 10.
7.
Around there, yeah. Maybe a 7.
I'd give it about a 7.
I feel like 6.5 is more accurate for me.
I still think this, though. I'm not aware of this. I don't know anything about this. This is me talking out of my ass, but I'm fairly sure that a lot of the stuff about the show makes sense a lot more if you watched the original Devilman. Which I want to in the future because I like Devilman.
Yeah.
And I would like to explore the world.
I feel like I talk about everything out of my ass. It's like, I'm not any type of major. I'm just a guy who watches anime in his basement.
We're drunk. We have no...
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure that I've said any of the things I wanted to say originally.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I apparently had something that I completely forgot about. So...
Okay. To finally wrap this up, though... But yeah, Devilman, just know that the shows that we're going to continue to watch and talk about next time, will be, Citrus, Pop Team Epic, and Darling in the Franxx. We're gonna start our bad anime talk as well next time, where we're gonna be watching a thing that is defined as a horrible anime. We're gonna comment on it. Where Ghost Stories will be our first one, and then we're gonna watch Sushi Police.
Sushi Police. I am so excited for Sushi Police.
We looked at a rating thing on my anime list. It saw fucking Sushi Police. It was just like, okay, that's gotta be it.
If you guys have any bad anime, recommend them to us.
Yeah. If you have any anime that you want us to just talk about in general, let us know. If you have any bad questions or anything you want us to answer, email us at otakushotglass@gmail.com. I don't even fucking remember our email.
Or tweet us, whatever.
Tweet us, message me on Tumblr at
we got social media.
Yeah, send me an ask at Adadagi's Koyomi on Tumblr. You can send us things through our YouTube, SoundCloud, whatnot. Make sure to like, subscribe, whatnot. But yeah, we'll be back. Our normal schedule now will be about the 20th of each month. About mid to late of the month. That's how it's normally going to be. But hope you stay tuned. Tell us about... Tell your friends. Tell your friends!
Tell your friends! Whoa!
But yeah, thank you all for listening. We'll be back in a month. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.
I mean, I guess it might be day. Who knows?
Maybe.
Goodbye.
Bye.